Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Well, folks, it's another great day. And yes, I promised last week that there had to be a part 2 to how this guy starts in the Bronx and is a basketball player, and he goes on to be a multimillionaire, and not only owning many, many, many different franchises, but also to be a partner in a gaming casino that's coming to Chicago, and how he has done it by first thinking big, dreaming big, believing big, and trusting God through the process. So my guest, for the first time I've ever done it in my 20 years on XM for a second show, is Kevin Hicks. You're going to enjoy this. Take notes, take notes, take notes. Well, you have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon you. You can't refuse it. You didn't seek it. You didn't choose it, but it's up to me and you to use it. We must suffer. If we lose it, give account. If we abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with you. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for sharing this show with your friends, your family members, your coworkers. I want to thank you for making this the #1 self-help show in the country. I want to thank you for also supporting our sponsor, Truist Bank. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank, and that's what Truist has made a commitment to. And then I take a moment every show to give God some glory, to thank God for life and strength and health. No, everybody don't believe like I believe, don't think like I think it. And I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm trying to make sure I take time to give thanks. Because for being on for 20 years and to be able to have some of the best and brightest thought leaders and wealth creators and achievers that the world has ever seen, how did this little guy from Northwest Washington, D.C., get access to them? That's grace of God. And I take a moment to thank him. And I say it to you every week, God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with your life. So make a decision, decide, and then act on it to do something incredible with your life. Well, my guest is, again, Kevin Hicks. Now, last week I had Kevin on. He is in my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. I got a chapter on him. And I wanted him to come and just share ideas from his remarkable point of view about financial self-defense. But I also wanted him to share a little bit about how this basketball guy from the Bronx, South Bronx at that, is able to go to Georgetown, then to Wharton, and then to work on Wall Street, and then go on to massive success as an entrepreneur, starting his own company and building massive wealth, including, and I'll tell you more about what kind. But we started talking, and before long, I lost all track of time. Let me tell you also, my phone blew up after it aired on last weekend. Blew up. People around the country started calling saying, what a great show. Fire, fire, fire. That's what I got. I said, okay, I got to do part 2. And I said that at the end of last week, there's got to be a part 2. So that's what we're going to do. Kevin Hicks, let me tell you real quick, is a partner at Blackman and Associates, which is a premier franchise consulting firm that specializes in providing franchise advisory and acquisition services to individuals and companies. He has done that for 25 years with that company, but they also are not only teaching people how to get into the franchise business, they have become franchise owners and minority owners of numerous brands. Let me give you a few. Popeyes, Subways, Papa John's, UPS Store, GNC, IHOP, Burger King, ExxonMobil, the Coffee Beanery, Firehouse Subs, Fast Signs, Midas, KFC, the Athlete's Foot, Quiznos, Anytime Fitness, Battery Plus, Massage Envy, FedEx Delivery Routes, 2 Men in a Truck, Church's Chicken, Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, Marriott Hotels, Golden Corrals, TGI Fridays, Service Master, and on and on. And then he now had just signed a deal to become the largest franchisee for Tim Hortons Coffee Cafes, purchasing 120 restaurants with over $150 million in revenues and 1,800 employees. That's just one of his ownership places, as well as the fact that he is a minority partner with the new casino in Chicago, the new Bally's that's coming to Chicago, and he's been very active in making that happen.
So you had asked me the last segment about failures, and what the common chord there was educating yourself. And that education is not just formal education. That could be in a skill. And I tell people everyone's not going to go to college. But let me ask you a question. Right now, I don't care what happens with AI or any technology. If you got a plumbing problem, guess who's going to be okay? The plumber.
That's
because
right.
He's got a skill, that he was able to manifest into a job and or business.
Right.
You get skilled trades as education as well. Having said that, I brought that up because the person we're about to speak to, wasn't super educated.
Right.
He educated himself.
Yep.
Okay. His last year of education was 10th grade.
That's right.
But he educated himself in different skills.
Yes.
And he was able to turn that into wealth. So Arthur George Gaston passed away in 1996 at 103 years old.
Wow.
Because he understood, that a key component to wealth was also health. And he was always very, very health conscious. And what he ate, he would take walks him and Fred Shuttlesworth, rest in peace, the famous civil rights leader who he was friends with. I was at the Congressional Black Caucus week one year, and I was with Reverend Shuttlesworth. He was 90 years old, and he was going out to jog at 5 a.m. and asked me to join him. I said,
wow.
Reverend, I said, I'll catch you on the afternoon run. So Mr. Gaston was very much the same thing. But let me tell you what his theory was on how to create wealth. And his theory was a very simple axiom he would use. Find a need and fill it. Find a need and fill it. So let me tell you how he started his entrepreneurial career. I told you that he's finished in 10th grade. He went and served our country in the U.S. military. And when he came back, he was working in a coal mine. That's kind of what he said. Okay. He lost his father when he was an infant. So he was raised by his grandparents and his mother. They lived in a log cabin. So those of us who think we getting it hard coming out of a project, let me say that again. Log cabin. Okay. Wow. And so when he was working in the coal mine, he noticed that the church people would come around often, and some of them would bring food to the mine. And he realized that people didn't have lunch. So he started a lunch service. He would make sandwiches in brown bags. He'd bring them and he'd sell them to all the people living in the coal mine. That's his first one. He found a need because he saw these folks weren't eating lunch and they were going home hungry, and filled it. The second thing is the church people would come around and collect money for funerals when families died, had family members died. And so he realized that there was an opportunity there. So he started the A.G. Gaston Burial Insurance Company. So he formed an insurance company so people would be able to pay so that they wouldn't have to go beg or ask or share or do cooperative or do what is now modern day GoFundMe, similar kind of thing, that they wouldn't have to do that. So after that, there's a fancy term you learn in these business schools called vertical integration, where you're just connecting everything that is part of the process of your business. So what he did was, before the fancy term vertical integration, what he did was he realized that he was paying and providing the resources for people to pay for funerals. So he decided to buy a building and he got in the funeral business.
Wow.
Learned the trade, that's that education again. Learned the funeral business, got certified, and he started the funeral business. And I told Dr. Jolley a long time ago that I'm a franchise guy, but I said franchising had a significant role in the civil rights movement. So you may remember, if you were young and you used to go down south, we would have the cold bucket of chicken. We have the food that our grandma or auntie made, and we'd have to drive in that car for 15 to 16 hours. And in many cases, in his time, they couldn't stop and go to the bathroom. As a matter of fact, the very thing that made Lyndon B. Johnson help push through the Civil Rights Act was the fact that he had a lady who was a caretaker for his family his whole life.
Yes.
And when she went on a trip with him, she couldn't go to the bathroom. And he thought there was something inhumane about her having to go and stoop over in the bushes.
Right.
And so he said that wouldn't happen. Well, here's what A.G. Gatson did. One of the companies that we now know as ExxonMobil used to be called Esso, with the tiger. They were the first company to allow blacks to buy into their franchise. So you had black Esso owners who made that trip going down south easier. And many of you seen the movie The Green Book. Right. The black Esso owners were in the Green Book, so you knew where to stop to support us. A.G. Gatson owned the gas station.
Wow.
Find the need and fill it. People don't understand. I think we talked about in the last show, one of the 5 reasons that you wanted to create wealth was to give to causes that matters to you. Well, as you know, this was a segregated society in America, particularly during his time. And so during the civil rights movement, though he was not an out front radical, you didn't see him on the radio, hear him on the radio shows, you didn't see him in the marches, he used his financial resources to help fund the movement. He had a hotel, He created the hotel because a lot of hotels would not allow black people to stay. And so he created the A.G. Gatson Hotel. So when he was looking to create affordable housing for families, he built affordable housing, but what he created was the A.G. Gatson Construction Company to build affordable housing for black people. A.G. Gatson Construction Company is still alive today. Today, they're still building houses in the South and building schools and churches. So he created the construction company to have affordable housing, built a hotel for people who didn't have a place to stay or family in the town they were passing through. He bailed people out of jail who got caught up in the marches. And most importantly, and this is dear to me because of a business opportunity I'm pursuing now, the University of Alabama, like most schools in the South, was segregated. There was a woman named Lucy who desegregated it in 1956. She had the NAACP with Thurgood Marshall, but it was funded. Her fight was funded by A.G. Gatson, and people did not know that till years later. That's how the University of Alabama got desegregated. And I want to take you all the way forward. The very school that wouldn't let us in 1956, me and my partner own 40 acres in Tuscaloosa today. And we'll be building things, affordable housing, just like A.G. Gatson. We'll be building a hotel just like A.C. Gatson. We'll be building restaurants just like A.G. Gatson. It's a continuum, but I would not know about this if I didn't start to take my education serious. We have to study our education of our history because as Marcus Garvey famously said, what man has done, man can do. Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. We need to learn our history because as your friend, Dr. George Fraser said, success runs in our race. And we have to study it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to go out and be mavericks and do something. We have people in our history who have done these things that we can learn from. So that's why A.G. Gatson, when he passed away in 1996 at 103, Dr. Jolley, his net worth was $130 million.
Wow. This is from a guy who was a 10th grade education dropout for a high school dropout.
Yes, sir.
So, folks, we're going to come right back. But I am honored that I and Mike Roberts met each other at the A.G. Gaskin conference, which was just 10 to 15 years ago, way past when he was alive, and they still put on the conference in Birmingham, Alabama. And I was speaking there, and Michael V. Roberts, who also is a billionaire, he was speaking there too. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back after station identification.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. Call me. You can call on me. Call me.
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast comes from Truist Bank. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. When you become a homeowner, your future starts to feel different. That's power, knowing you could be creating generational wealth to pass down. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Truist has programs that could help you buy a home with a lower down payment than you might expect. And their professional guidance helps you build belief that home ownership is within reach. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about options that are available to you. They will listen to your goals and follow through. Reach them by calling 855-562-1579. Do this for your family and your legacy. That number is 855-562-1579 or visit truist.com/homebuyer. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Certain programs and geographic restrictions may apply. Contact a loan officer for details. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and we're going to be right back with my friend Kevin Hicks. But I first have to take a moment because I love this company. It's called Truist Bank. I want to take a moment to talk about them. They are our friends. They're leaders in banking. And what I love most about them is they show up with unwavering care. What does that mean to you? Well, it means that you can trust that they will help you identify your financial goals, and then they will use their deep industry knowledge and awesome banking tools to help you reach those goals. And one of those tools is Money and Mindset, which is a resource that's available for anybody, not just their customers, anybody. You can find tons of articles and podcasts and tips and tools to help you along your financial journey. Go check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Truist Bank, leader in banking, unwavering in care. They're my friends. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. My special guest is Kevin Hicks. I could reintroduce you over and over again, but this is the second show in a row because you give such great content. Now, we were just talking about A.G. Gaskin, find a need and fill it. And one day you shared with me something I did not know about, a young African-American young man who found a need and filled it and became wealthy. Talk about that story.
I will. Before we go any further, I want to make sure y'all understand how we were able to get that land in Alabama. It was because my partner's great-grandmother left him a considerable piece of land, and then we purchased another piece of land. That's how the 40 acres came about, because our grandparents were smart enough to understand. They might not have had master's degrees, but they knew that God was not making any more land, and it was going to be a key asset to launch your wealth building journey for your entire family. So she left land for a lot of people.
Let me stop there. We're going to go into this story. I got to talk. You just sparked something to my mind. My grandmother came out of Charlottesville, Virginia. She was a country girl who met my grandfather, who worked on the railroad. He was smitten. He married her at 18. They went to D.C. She had my mother, and my grandmother then went on. She went on with her life. She went to Philadelphia. She and my grandfather divorced her, and she went to Philadelphia, and she started a beauty shop. And she and her sister started a beauty shop. She bought the home and the beauty shop. They're connected together on Arch Street in Philadelphia, and it was a home and a beauty shop connected. She could go from the home right into the beauty shop. She worked until she was 88 years old and left me, just like your partner's grandmother left him some land. She left me that property, my mother, my brother, and she left us a significant amount of money in bank accounts. Now, she didn't have any investments because they didn't believe in stock market after 1929, but she had savings accounts everywhere. And that money was seed money for me to get my first home. And I didn't blow it. I didn't go on a spin craziness. Woo! She left me money. I'm going to go to on a Caribbean cruise. I'm going to get me a car. No, I put that money into a bank. I put that money in a money market. I let it grow in some wealth while I was trying to figure out what to do. I took a class in investing from American University, and I used that money to grow. And then when I was ready to buy my first home with my wife, that money was significantly impactful. So grandparents, that's what generational wealth's supposed to do. And it's not supposed to be blown. It's not supposed to be squandered. It's not supposed to be gone through. It's not a payday. It's not a jackpot hit. It's not a lottery hit. It's money that you build on. One generation ceiling is supposed to be the next generation floor. We've got to teach that. And that's what I write about in Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. Okay, let's talk about finding
So there's a young man named Tope Awatona, Nigerian young man, and this is again the importance of us having vision. He had an idea born out of frustration. He got tired of creating meetings based on emails, and it would be frustrating because of his schedule would get all jammed up and what have you. And so he came up with the idea of creating a system and an app that would schedule things for you that many of you are aware of, called Calendly. Now, what you did not know was it was a young Nigerian black man in 2013 that created this. He did it with all of his own money. So unlike these other young people who are doing these tech things, private equity money and funders, he used his own money because he couldn't get us to invest. He went all around Atlanta trying to get people to invest in it, and they'd rather invest in nightclubs, nothing wrong with that, than his business. Okay. And at this time, nightclubs have a really short span. It's not like the clubs, Dr. Jolley, in the 80s and the 90s, 2000, where you were 20 years. Now it's 4 years and out. And he couldn't get any investors. So he used all of his savings, $100,000, $150,000, later another 50, and he started Calendly. And it took off because most of us even use it now. That young man found a need because he said, I'm not the only one that's frustrated by having to create appointments with emails. He found a need and he filled it. And today, 13 years later, really 10 years later, he's been a billionaire for the last 3 years. He's worth $1.3 billion off an idea born out of frustration of just scheduling meetings. That's what it is. This is not something that is curing a disease. This is not something that is fixing an ailment. This is something that is a simple solution to a frustrating problem that everyone was having. And he created this out of a need that he had himself. And now he's a billionaire.
A billionaire. Find a need and fill it. I got to say this over and over, folks. Find a need and fill it. Look in your community. One more point about that young man from Nigeria. I write about in the book the immigrant attitude and the fact that a immigrant will come to America and become a millionaire 5 times faster than someone born here because they see opportunities that many times we as Americans have not opened our eyes to see. That's why you've got to get a new mindset.
Or look past.
Or they look past it. That's right. They don't see it or they look past it.
Or look past it.
And look past it or look down on it. And you said last week, sometimes you've got to do that business that's not sexy. Okay.
That's right.
Am I right?
Another Nigerian young man, his name is Chinedu Achero. A lot of people come to cities like New York and Chicago. They're very busy. They come from small towns. They have to learn the transit system because you're not driving. That would be Washington, D.C., where you are as well, Dr. Jolley. And so the young man, as with a lot of your professionals, was frustrated because he was getting lost every time he was trying to get around the city and get home. So out of this frustration, he created an app for people that simplified the train system and gave you the quickest way to get you home or to your destination. It was called Hop Stop. He created this probably a decade ago. He created this app And inside 2 years, he sold it to Apple for $1 billion.
Wow.
A subway directional tube. Nothing sexy, just something that helped and filled a need. Because people coming to the big city need help as it pertains to navigating the city. And so to the point you just made, Dr. Jolley, let's just think about the things that we look past or look down on.
Yes.
In the hotel business, 65% of the hotels are owned by South Asian / Indian. Let me take a simple business that we would look past and look down. There is a franchise. As you know, I'm in the franchise business. And Dr. Jolley, if you're in the area that you folks call the DMV, if you're in that area, DC, Maryland, right, Virginia, there's a company called Zips. Now, they're around the country, but they're heavily concentrated there. Zips is a dry cleaning concept that also does laundry services. What people don't know when they walk past that Zips, a service that we all need, because in the government service, with all those government jobs, you got to wear a suit sometime, or at least clothing that requires dry cleaning or laundry services. Yes. And everyone doesn't have the time like we used to in the old days to do that. And many of the new apartments don't have dry washers and dryers in the building. And in many cases, you now don't have your neighborhood laundromat where you can go in and wash your own stuff. So the need they saw was to create a dry cleaner and a laundry concept. The average Zips cleaners, Dr. Jolley, as I sent you in your email, does $1.2 million and makes $400,000 in cash flow.
Wow.
$400,000 in cash flow before you pay your taxes and your debt on whatever your loan is. $400,000 at a dry cleaners. But we look down at it. If I was at the lounge or if I was at the sports bar and they asked me what I did, oh man, I got a dry cleaners. Oh, cool. And everybody else be handing out their little pretty business cards, making a fraction of what I make. Okay. My little dry cleaners. Okay.
And you had a cleaning business to start your franchising.
Yes, I did.
Your entrepreneurial journey.
Right. My first franchise was a janitorial cleaning service, and people did not realize how much money that made. Wow. And many of the entrepreneurs that we know famously, including Dr. William Picard, Joe Green, a bunch of them started with cleaning services. Okay.
Don't look, folks. Don't, in chapter number 3 of my book, Turn Your Setbacks into Greenbacks, I said, don't let your pride poison your prosperity. That chapter, the title is Don't Let Your Pride Poison Your Prosperity.
Yes, absolutely right. Dr. Jolley, you know that a lot of us get into the barbershop business or the hair salon business, and that's even changing because it requires real estate. And now there's so many other values that real estate has for people who own commercial real estate. They're not renting out to salons anymore. So a lot of sisters, are either doing the hair at home, or they're going to the person's home, or they're just making less money because they're paying exorbitant rents. So what has happened, find a need and fill it, is now there's a franchise grouping called Salon Suites. You've seen them, Phoenix Suites. You've seen them, and what they've done.
Oh, I've seen Phoenix Suites. Yeah.
Yes, you have. They've taken a piece of real estate and they've cut out 10 to 20 little small rooms, dressed them up nicely, put a chair in there. So those sisters who before were making good money and generally paying booth rent anyway, can now come to this one place where collectively they're paying less rent. They have discounts on supplies because you can buy the supplies you need collectively. Okay. And it's a sexy environment. It's well located. And now that's a new business that has been created out of a need. And I don't have to know anything about hair to rent those little rooms.
That's right.
Find a need and fill it.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought for a second. We'll be right back. We got to take a break for station identification. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley with my special guest, the king. I call him the king of franchising, not franchisee, but franchising, because he has multiple franchises. His name is Kevin Hicks, and we're going to come right back. But I want to take a moment to tell everybody to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com. Get some of the free resources and all the things that we have there. Get the book if you haven't gotten it. Get multiple copies for one and for you. One is for your family. One is for your cousins. One is for, get multiple copies of the book. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. Because we want to help you win and grow your wealth, your health, your wisdom, and your future and your finances. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. You can get it at winwithwillie.com. And then I want to make sure you also go to newwaytomakemoney.com. I'm promoting this because my friend J.R. Fenwick, who's also a friend of Kevin Hicks, is teaching people how to grow their wealth through stocks. And he's the best teacher I've ever met. And I want to expose his great gift to the world. So go to newwaytomakemoney.com. Check him out. On Tuesday nights, he has a free event that you can tune in at 7 o'clock. You can learn about that. And I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. And I am grateful for the checks that I have been getting as a result of me learning about what he teaches. I'm glad about the checks. Right. All right. One more thing about that you talked about last week that I want to expand on is you talked about financial self-defense.
Yes,
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And you talked about that. You got a whole chapter. I want anybody who has my book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, to turn to page 155, where I start talking about Kevin Hicks after talking about Kathy Hughes and David Stewart. He's in the same chapter. And he talks about the 5 reasons why it's important to create wealth, and to engage in financial self-defense was the 5th reason. I'll read them again for somebody who might not have heard. Number 1, to provide a high quality of life for you and your family. Number 2, to have the money or resources to take advantage of opportunities that come your way. Like he just talked about, people might bring a opportunity to you and you say, oh, I got the money to get involved with that, like you did with the casino, Kevin. Number 3, to create new opportunities for yourself or others. For example, starting a business or investing in one, such as buying a piece of real estate and building a business from it. Number 4, to give dollars to give dollars or other resources to organizations or groups doing good work in the community, which A.G. Gaston did with SCLC. Number 5, to engage in financial self-defense, the ability to protect yourself and reserve funds during challenging economic time, personal financial crises, health challenges, job loss, legal problems, and so forth. And he said financial self-defense is critical in maintaining and sustaining and protecting your wealth. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You shared that there are a few other things that people should be mindful of.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, Dr. Jolley, the reason I told you what the net worth was of A.G. Gatson at the end of his life, when it was $103 million, and why I told you that the family businesses, many of them were still in effect, is we put so much focus on wealth creation, we don't talk about wealth preservation. Like you said, so many of us blow it. And when you look at professional athletes, they've told you the data on how many of them go broke. Right now, one of the most popular athletes in the Black community, Floyd Mayweather, has made several $billions in revenues. But right now, he is so financially challenged. In his 50s, he's going to have to come out of retirement to fight because he has blown his money. Wow. Wealth preservation. And so part of wealth preservation is you have to protect yourself against times where you have economic challenge or the climate changes. I think you read some of the reasons why: health, legal protection, right. Those kinds of things. Well, I wanted to give some more additional tools. First, everyone should have an emergency fund. Okay. If you don't have one, start building one now. Whether you put $100 a week away or $50 a week away, you want to have enough savings so that should you lose your sources of income, whether it's a business, a job, you will be able to maintain you and your family's quality of life for at least 12 to 18 months.
Got it.
I had a very difficult time during post-COVID. My business did extremely well during COVID because I had restaurants that were near hospitals and colleges, and those colleges had shut down their cafeterias, so I made a lot of money. Right. I had trucking companies, myself and my clients, where people were now ordering online, so we had a lot of deliveries happening, so we made a lot of money. But afterwards, the cost of money and borrowing money became very expensive. In my business, all of the business, my consultancy, where I have to raise financing for people who want to buy franchises, or for myself in buying or growing businesses, we need to access money. Well, it was very difficult to do that. Okay. But my quality of life did not change because I had a reserve fund, a pretty substantial one, to make sure myself and my family would be okay. And I take care of 2 grown adults in my family. My mother's 89 years of age. I wholly take care of her, and I had the capacity to continue to do that. So right. First thing you want to do is make sure you have an emergency fund that can sustain you for 12 to 18 months. Other things that we're afraid of, particularly in the Black community, we're afraid to talk about life insurance. The reality is there's very few investments where you put money in your 20s, $35 a month, and should you transition or have anything happen anytime after that first year, whether it be at 36 or whether it be at 86, you can have your family receive $1 million, okay, yes, to sustain them, take care of the house, pay for the mortgage, pay for college. There's no disruption in these things. Okay, to feed people, to pay for medicines that you have people who may be on maintenance, but none of that is stopped because you have someone in their family who was planned for, in the event the untimely demise, or if they live a long and full and healthy life. And you can start that in your 20s at $30, $35, or even a little later, it's still under $100. Right. And the payout on the other end is that. So we need to be honest and start talking about life insurance and getting life insurance. There's a reason why every good job you've ever had, not a small business, but if you work for a company that had any size, one of the benefits they give you is life insurance.
That's right. That's right. Right.
For a reason. Yep. So the other thing is there's a new insurance in the last 25 years has become more in vogue called disability insurance. Okay. Most people don't talk about that. If you have life insurance, that same person can sell you disability insurance. And disability insurance is an insurance you get that will provide for you should you become incapacitated or something happens to you that you're no longer be able to work. Whether it's something emotional, whether it's something physical, you'll be able to get 70 to 80% of whatever your income was through disability insurance. That's another form of financial self-defense that we need to start considering as a community. The third one, and salute to President Obama, who, for those of you who don't know, is opening his presidential library on June 18th, and then he'll have the public opening on the 19th. President Obama and Nancy Pelosi, Congresswoman, and at the time, Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden helped push through something called Obamacare. Let me tell you why that was important. America, despite being the largest economy in the world, America had 40 million people who did not have health insurance. Wow. The passage of Obamacare cut that number to 20 million in 18 months. Wow. And what it did is it made healthcare accessible to people who had limited resources or modest resources, because most of the people that have great jobs, okay, high paying jobs or even modest paying jobs or governmental jobs, they had health insurance, but there are a lot of people that work for small businesses that do not provide that. Now they had the capacity to get that. Why is that important? because your wealth is founded and grounded in your health.
That's right.
The reality is that we have, as a community, disproportionately in the top 10 indices of health ailments, we're in the top of many of those.
Right.
Both Black men and women. And,
yes.
and then when you talk about things that we can control, like obesity, we're in the top with that number 2. When you have health insurance, you have the capacity to respond to dramatic events. Okay, you have the ability to respond to ongoing ailments that need to be maintained and monitored. You have the ability to take care of emergencies, and you have the ability to just do maintenance to stay healthy and not responding to anything. Health insurance is important. That's a third form of financial self-defense, because if your health is not right, you may not have the capacity to work. If your health is not right, you may not have the capacity to be the parent that you want to be. If your health is not right, you may not have the capacity to be the student you want to be. If your health is not right, you may not be able to witness the next generation of your family even be born. So that's a third form of financial self-defense that we have to engage as a community. Life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance, all of them very key. And as you see, A.G. Gatson knew that lesson early, because the first business he started was an insurance business.
That's right. That's right. An insurance business. I said many people know I'm daily on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, doing Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolley at 8:20 Eastern, 7:20 Central on the Praise Network across America. And recently I did a show that said people will insure their cars, they'll insure their homes, they'll insure their jewelry, they'll insure their minks, and they won't insure the thing that got them all of those possessions, their work life, their health. Without being able to work, you cannot generate the money to live that kind of lifestyle, to even have those things to insure. Therefore, you should make sure that you have health insurance, take good care of your health. And if you get health insurance, make sure you have an annual physical, and make sure you get stuff early if it's going to be a problem. Second, you got to have disability insurance to prepare and protect you if you are unable to work. And I'll add one more: long-term care insurance. Now, that's a lot harder now to get, because many people can't afford that, or they don't think they can. But my wife found a way that she said, we're going to get long-term care insurance. She's got every kind of insurance that is possible for me. Key man insurance. She got everything. And so I say to you, start understanding insurance. One more thing. I had a gentleman call me this week who said that many people don't understand the difference between term insurance and life insurance that is cash value. And he said, you got to tell people on your show, Willie, about the importance of he's African American. He said, importance of cash value. Many wealthy people, they get cash value life insurance policies, and they make sure that they have that cash in their trust. It's science to this. So take full advantage. Am I right, Kevin?
Dr. Jolley was surprised. The cash value insurance he's talking about, good people, is called whole life insurance. And he was surprised when I told him, I said, Dr. Jolley, do you know why Rentham O.J. Simpson was able to continue to have this ballerific, wonderful luxury life? You know, when he lost his civil cases, many people know, and he owed $35 million to the Goldman family. And at this point, he paid about $35,000. I said, you know why, Dr. Jolley? Because at the beginning of his case, Johnny Cochran told him, look, take all of your money and put in a whole life policy, because a whole life policy cannot be penetrated by lawsuit.
Say that one more time.
Really, a whole life policy cannot be penetrated by lawsuit. So the reason he was able to continue to enjoy this high life is all of his money was in a whole life insurance policy.
This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast. And for sure, your best and the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Motivated, highly motivated, wanna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. This was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there.
I'm so excited about the response to my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. So many have said that the book has had a profound impact on their thinking. I wrote the book to teach others what I have been taught over the last 20 years, interviewing billionaire after billionaire. And most of those billionaires started with nothing. I want to offer you some of the most powerful chapters in the book as a gift. Go to richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com to read the free chapters so you can get on with growing your wealth. Get the free chapters at richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com. Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, here to thank Truist Bank for their sponsorship of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. Now, if you're a longtime Wealthy Ways listener, you know I believe that mindset is the key to success, and so does Truist. That's why they've created their incredible resource, Money and Mindset. It's full of tips to help you with your finances and help you with your well-being. You can get articles, quizzes, calculators, and hey, even more podcast information that will bless you, all for free and for anyone to use. Check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care, and Truist Bank is a member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank. And we're back with my special guest, Kevin Hicks. The first time I've ever done two shows on the same guest consecutively in 20 years. But he has so much great content, so much great information.
As he said, you know that you have to insure your car. You know, you get your home, you know you have to get home insurance. And in many cases, that's because you're forced. Because I think if we had an option, many of us might not do that either.
Right.
But these things that you have to choose to do, you should.
You want to let people know how to reach you, or if you have consulting
I'm going to do this. If anyone has any questions about some of the things that we discussed, I'm going to give you an email address. Please take this down, and I'll answer all emails within 48 hours. Dr. Jolley stays on me about that, because if I get to the 50th, he calls me up. If you see that my game is tight there, it's because of the gentleman doing the interview. So my email address is B as in boy, L as in Larry, A as in apple, C as in cat, K as in kangaroo, M as in Mary, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, A as in apple, S as in Sam, a second S as in Sam, O as in orange, C as in cat, the number 2 at hotmail.com.
Wow. And many people want to get into franchising. They need to know how to do it. And this is the guy. So
it is the best way to create wealth, because you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And you're partnered with a Fortune 1000 company in most cases. And it's predicated on this one thing. If you don't make money, they don't make money, because you only pay them a small thing called a royalty, which is a commission on every dollar you make. And It's under 10% in almost all cases, but you will make money. It's a great wealth creation tool. It's not just a wealth creation tool. It's a community building tool. When you leave your house today, you're getting in a car. Where did you get that car? From a franchise. Where did you gas that car? From a franchise. When you went to work, and you guys had lunch, where did you generally get your lunch? From a franchise. When you went to work out afterwards, where did you go? You went to Anytime Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness or Orange Theory. You went to a franchise. Then afterwards, when you got your healthy smoothie, you know where you went? You went to Tropical Smoothie. You went to a franchise. Okay, franchises make up 50% of all consumer dollars spent in this country. Wow. Why aren't we getting in that business? You don't have to know the business. You just have to have the will and the desire to work and have saved some resources that you can leverage for a loan. We've already talked to you about government guaranteed loans called 7A SBA loans, and the government will back you. You have nothing to go forward in fear, but the willingness to work. And that's how you'll get into your franchise. Whether you buy one that's already open and someone wants to sell because they want to retire or they want to do something different, or you start one. Start today. Amen. This is what communities are built on, good people. Ironically, people ask me, why did I want to get into the hotel business? I said, I really didn't. But at the time, my son is who's now a star, my oldest son, he was lazy. And I didn't know how things were going to turn out for him. He didn't want to work. He thought it was supposed to happen right away. He thought he was going to go to Hollywood and be a writer. And so I said, I need to have a place for him to stay, a place where he couldn't get into the cash register because there is none, because you got to use a credit card. And I said, in worst case scenario, he'll have a job. So that's how I got into that. But all kidding aside, a rental property is a perfect example.
Yes.
The reality is, by getting a rental property, you really are providing an opportunity for people that you care about to have a place to stay. You really are providing an opportunity for people who need an affordable or quality or clean place to stay. And you're deriving income. Perfect example. I talk to many veterans. Most people don't know this. Any veterans are listening to the show. You have the VA loan program. That's a 0% down program that the federal government has arranged for you to be able to take advantage of. And you can do that to the tune of up to 4 units. And if you partner with somebody, up to 7, which means now you have rental income because you're providing those other 3 units, and you have a place to stay that in point of fact costs you nothing because your renters are paying for it. But if you were not in that opportunity moment, that couldn't happen. That can happen with non-vets as well. Starting a business. Well, there are some of us who've had the misfortune of having family members that may have a criminal record or who don't have the education we do, and they're what they call the hard to employ. So by starting a business, you have the capacity to hire the cousin or the sibling or the young son or daughter who may be hardcore unemployable because they only have a GED, or
right,
because they don't have a high school diploma, or because they have a criminal record. You can provide them with a job opportunity because you started that business. They can help you make money. You can give them an opportunity to work for you, clear their history. So they may stay with you, they may not, but now they have a resume to build upon, and they can go somewhere else and transform their life and get a job. Maybe even go back and get an education because of that opportunity that you created for them.
Wow. Financial self-defense. Let me read this thing from Kevin, page 157. Kevin Hicks says that financial self-defense is critical in maintaining and sustaining the wealth you have worked so hard to create. Financial self-defense when you're able to sustain yourself through the storms of life. He said that 60% of Americans are not prepared for a $1,000 emergency. Kevin says that everyone should be thinking of the story we learned as children about the 3 little pigs. Are you building your financial house with straw, sticks, or bricks? Of course, Kevin recommends you build your financial house with bricks because storms and challenges will come up, and you need to be protected from the storms that could impact your financial security. Some things are predictable. After fall, winter comes, and you can see snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Other times, life is unpredictable, like a worldwide pandemic. So, wise wealth creators are not just making money and saving and investing. They are protecting their money and themselves from the storms and challenges that will come up. Woo! But I mean, he talks about investing, how to invest and when to invest. He talks about in this chapter. This chapter is chapter number 22. He talks about owning a home and how he got his first home, how he used creative financing to get it. Real quick.
Never, Dr. Jolley, let money keep you from buying an asset, whether it be a home or a good deal. Money as a asset, as a tool, its only purpose is to grow, not be stagnant. So money, therefore, is always looking for a deal, whether it be a business, whether it be a home. Money is looking. The stock market is you investing in companies. Buying a home, whether it be multifamily, whether it be rental, is you buying an asset. So there will always be money looking for deals. It is your job to find the right deal to persuade money to help you get it.
Last thing, Kevin, I ask every guest this. You're coming to DC. I take you to lunch. We go to Howard University to a business class, and we go in, and you want to give them a couple you got us. Young folks, you want to be successful in life and business, here's some things you got to do. Give me a few you got us.
I just gave you one. Always remember, money is always. So the wealthiest men in the world that you know have stock portfolios, when the market is down and they're getting 4%, you're getting 4%, so are they. If you bring them an idea that's going to get them 10, they're going to look at investing in you. So remember, money is by definition a tool always looking to grow. So always be money. There'll always be money available for good deals. 2, master the craft or profession you have chosen. You should be in a constant state of always learning more about the thing that you do and the new ways to do it. Dr. Jolley will tell you, I come to him every 3 months with a new way that you can raise money cheaply or through another source or through the government, okay? Because I'm constantly learning about new ways to get money to buy more assets. Nice. So whatever your thing is, if it's music, if it's the law, learn that. For example, if you're an attorney now, because some companies are growing so fast, but they don't yet have the money to do the infrastructure, they have something called a fractional general counsel. So you're not on salary for them, but you're performing the task of a general counsel. But you would know that if you weren't learning up in your business. Wow. So the second thing I would tell them is learn and master as best you can your profession or craft that you've chosen. So one, as I said, money is always looking for a good deal. Always be aware of finding good deals or value propositions for people who have the resources to invest, whether they're very rich or whether they're very modest. With all the people leaving government, they have a lot of money. They're looking to invest to sustain their life. Talk to them. Second, as I said, master and learn your craft. Okay. And third, most importantly, always, irrespective of what faith, always give the glory to God, give your time, talent, and resources to glorify what he's done for you.
Amen. Amen. One more thing he taught me is that you need to take courses and learn how money works. And Kevin would say that over and over again, learn how money works. Because if you learn how it works, and then you can work the money to make you wealthy. He's my man. Thank you for taking time out, my brother, for this lesson from the book, right from the book, folks. He's on page 155 or 159. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. Go to richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com. richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com. Get your copies, not one copy, get multiple copies, and you can read and give it to your friends and family members to help them. Thank you, Kevin, and much success. Blackman and Associates is the name of his company, and Blackman, ASSOC, number 2.
Yes, sir.
At Hotmail.com. All right. Fantastic. I want to thank his wife, Renee, for letting him come and be with me today. I want to thank the Ham Hockers and for those who don't know, there's a chapter about the Ham Hockers in the book, all the Ham Hockers who support all that we're doing. And then I want to thank Truist Bank again for being our partner who has been so responsive. I want to thank them. And then I want to thank you folks for sharing this show with your friends, family, coworkers, and everybody. And then I want to encourage you to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com. I want to make sure you also go to newwaytomakemoney.com. That comes from my friend J.R. Fenwick and how to learn how money works with stocks. And then finally, I want you to go to join us every Monday night for the Jolley Marriage Show. You can find out where we are on Monday nights at 9:00 on A Jolley Marriage on Facebook, The Real Willie Jolley on Instagram, Willie Jolley on LinkedIn Live, and of course, you can see the replays of the Jolley Marriage Show on YouTube. Have a great day, a God-blessed day, and remember, your best is yet to come. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for sure, you've got greatness in front of you. Live it. Have a great day.
Right, sometimes some rain's gonna fall, and everybody's house sometimes trouble will fall. But when trouble stops by, you can sit there and cry, or you can make up your mind you're gonna stand up and fight. Hey, people, listen closely to the sound of my voice. Success in life is never due to chance but to choice. You choose to go on, or you choose to give up, give in, and go in the town. Oh no, up to you, it's up to you. You win or lose, whether you win or lose. If you want to reach the top, you must believe deep in your heart. Give it your all, everything you got, and never, ever, ever stop. Keep kicking.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.